When you're watching an action movie, how do you know if the main character is a hero or a villain? In this video, I will propose a system for how to tell the difference using two action franchises from popular Western culture. Figuring out the difference can be difficult, especially if the main character is not just defending himself, but seems to go out of his way to hurt other people. Maybe he's fighting crime, or chasing down people who hurt him and his family. Either way, a lot of people get hurt, or worse, along the way. You can try to justify the violence. Maybe the people getting hurt are bad people, or they work for bad people, or they somehow deserve it. But what does that mean, to deserve having violence inflicted on you? The New Oxford American Dictionary defines the word deserved as rightfully earned because of something done or qualities shown. But that leads to the question, who gets to decide what is rightfully earned? Do we leave those decisions to a hired killer or a crazy man in a bat costume? Do their actions make them heroes or villains? To find out, let's revisit the dictionary. A hero is a person who is admired or idealized for courage, outstanding achievements, or noble qualities. Noble is defined as having or showing fine personal qualities or high moral principles and ideals. A villain in a film, novel, or play is a character whose evil actions or motives are important to the plot. And evil is defined as profoundly immoral and malevolent. The word moral keeps coming up, so moral is defined as concerned with the principles of right and wrong behavior and the goodness or badness of human character. Now that we know it's about right and wrong, we're back to the question, who gets to decide what is right and wrong? Historically, criminal justice policy, or lack thereof, first centered on revenge on the part of the victim. If a person was harmed by another, the victim had to seek his or her own justice from the offender or the offender's family. As society changed and became more complex, the victim-centered system of justice was replaced by government control of justice. Serious deviance from acceptable behavior is prohibited by societies with written laws. These laws identify the prohibited deviant behaviors, the circumstances that make such behaviors illegal, and the possible punishments for violating them. Some inappropriate acts are relatively minor, while others, such as killing a person, are seen as being seriously deviant. So in our modern society, there is and should be an expectation of law and order maintained by the criminal justice system. But what happens when those entrusted to do what's right are themselves immoral? Corruption is the use of the police position for personal gain. Although it is common to refer to police powers as those of arrest and the right to use force, police discretion also gives the police the power not to arrest, and indeed not to take action at all. More problematic than the bribing of police by organized crime are cases in which the police become criminals. So what happens when the system is so corrupt that justice is not possible, and the criminals in the government protect themselves and each other from the victims of their crimes? This is the case in the extreme worlds of John Wick and Bruce Wayne, and I hope, fingers crossed, is rare in the real world. Is it any wonder they take justice into their own hands? Let's focus on the actions of the two men, one at a time. John Wick plans and executes his plans to end the lives of those who wronged him, plus their employees who get in his way. First-degree murder is the intentional killing of another person by someone who has acted willfully, deliberately, or with planning. How many people did John Wick murder in his first movie? George Hatsey counted 77. Link in the description below. Even if we accept the imaginary world of hired assassins has its rules and code of conduct, John Wick breaks even those. He refuses to fulfill his debt from an oath literally signed in blood, and later ends the same guy in a place where murder is forbidden by his fellow assassins. On the other hand, the Batman commits less serious offenses, though the list is still not short. They include assault, battery, and assault with a deadly weapon. He also gets dishonorable mentions for trespassing, breaking and entering, resisting arrest, and leaving the scene of a crime. Oddly enough, the Batman considers himself to be a crime fighter because he brings criminals to justice, though he does not have the government authority to do so. There is a word for that. A vigilante is someone who personally claims to enforce law and order, but lacks legal authority to do so. Vigilantes operate by using actual or threatened force, and are often motivated by a desire to avenge a perceived harm or injustice. Wow, do you think they wrote this definition specifically for the Batman? Despite his vigilantism, the Batman mostly keeps an uneasy truce with the police. He refuses to kill, and his actions end in criminals being handed over to law enforcement for prosecution and imprisonment. In the opinion of this amateur historian, that makes his actions moral in the context of his environment. So how do we identify a hero in a story? I propose that a hero is a lead character with high moral character. Typically set to oppose the hero is the villain, a person of low moral character. If the opposing character has high moral character, I would still call him or her a hero. And if the lead character has low moral character, that makes him or her a type of villain called an anti-hero, which by definition is a central character in a story, movie, or drama who lacks conventional heroic attributes. Given all these definitions, I would conclude that the Batman is a hero, and John Wick is an anti-hero. That does not detract from the fun of watching an action movie, but keep in mind, we're watching bad people do bad things to other bad people. This takes us to a difficult question. Even if John Wick's behavior is immoral, can it be justified when the criminal justice system is unlikely to provide any justice? Here is where I will take a stand and say no. In a world where law and order are expected, immoral behavior should not be tolerated. At least the Batman tries to fix the system by working for common goals with lawful police officers and bringing unlawful police officers to justice. What choice do you have if a crime is committed against you? I recommend getting the criminal justice system involved, and if the system is corrupt, work to fix it. Do not be like John Wick. Be like the Batman. You know, except for all the assaults and break-ins. That will get you into big trouble. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to this channel for new videos every week or two, and see the description below for a list of films, books, and websites featured in this video.